Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon Rayron VR, and welcome to another day of the National Model Railroading Month. And today we're going to start transitioning into a little bit more modern day when it comes to manufacturers and these newer and upcoming manufacturers. And now the one that we're going to be talking about today is really special. When I was young, I was kind of collecting Union Pacific. I was realizing that I was more transitional era. And when I was young, I was able to go to the Ogden station in Utah. And I thought I had this engine right here. So over on my Instagram, I'm not really active on it, but over at the Ogden station, they've got this gas turbine. Now, this is really one of the biggest diesels out there that you can get running on bunker seat fuel. And I thought I had this in HO scale. I originally thought that I had the front piece here, and then I thought I had the tender. But then I was looking for this middle section, this B unit of this gas turbine. And when I was young, it's like, oh, I'll just get another tender and call it good. But as I kind of grew up and did more research on Union Pacific, I quickly realized that, oh, wow, this is actually the third of the gas turbine series. They had the Generation 1, they had the Veranda, and then they had the Big Blow gas turbine that we got here. And so I was trying to find this in HO scale. I had to have it because, I've seen it in person. We got the pictures here to prove it. And no one really made it. The only way that I could get this engine at the time was through brass. And it was costing thousands of dollars to try to get this engine. And so it's like, well, you know what? I'll kind of concede. I'm happy with the two gas turbines that I had. And then when I was kind of out into the workforce, this brand new company announced this engine from Scale Trains. And so the rest is kind of history. I unfortunately couldn't afford one at the time when they announced the gas turbine, Big Blow, but I was able to finally grab one. A member from my previous club out in California had one, and it had the Utah Ogden Station edition, and I was finally happy that I had all three gas turbines. And so our next company is Scale Trains. Recently new. I think they were established in 2015, and this was their flagship engine at the time. Now, if you guys haven't heard about Scale Trains dabbles in HON and then just recently got into S scale. Now, if you are a modern modeler, if you are a rivet counter, if you love every little detail you can squeeze out of these models, then Scale Trains is really the company for you because they are hyper focused into details. They try to get as many pictures, they try to get schematics, they try to be 100% prototypical as they possibly can. And their engines are actually pretty good. ESU, they do have ESU decoders, which again is kind of questionable, but again, we'll talk about my 100% bias for ESU a little bit later in the series. But overall, I really like Scale Trains. Now, I don't buy a lot of their products, and the reason being is because I'm not modern. They tend to bring out locomotives in the modern era, and I'll kind of show you what they have here. So let's go to HO. We'll go to locomotives, and then you can see the plethora of offerings. Again, I tend to collect Union Pacific family tree type of locomotives, and so when they announced their GP30s, I was all over it. So I got a couple of GP30s, Chicago Northwestern, Denver Rio Grande, and I'll eventually get the 844 in the Union Pacific. But every video that I've watched, every member that I've seen run at my local clubs, they've all been satisfied with their modern diesels, the ES44s, the AC4400s here, and all the other modern engines. I'm not too familiar with the GE C45s, but the more of the story is they know their stuff when it comes to modern, and it detail is great. The pulling power is incredible. The other day over at my club, I saw about two Scale Trains plus a different company diesel pulling 80 cars across our layout. It was insane. They are fantastic pullers. They are weighted pretty heavy. Their motors are just fine. And what's interesting about scale trains is that I nickname them the Thanos because they're starting to collect all the stones when it comes to model railroading. They've got Fox Valley recently. They got MTH. They're a virtual partner for retro rail fanning. They just recently bought Exact Rail. So Scale Trains is becoming to be a big boy player when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to this hobby. So if you haven't heard of Scale Trains yet, here you are. This is your introduction to Scale Trains. And they do a lot of what I like about this company is that they do road trips. They go out and they try to go to all of these organizations. They try to go to museums. They try to go to train shows. And to be honest, it's awesome to see. They're trying to get with their customers. They're trying to go face to face, and I give them a lot of credit. And you can see just how many places they have been across the United States. Along with that, they visited Samara. So yes, I was able to help them set up here. I've got a whole video about their trip. They talk about their entire history, and there's a little bit of news in here, but it's kind of outdated news. But still, it's a lot of good information about Scale Trains and what they're all about. So yeah, definitely check out this video about when it comes to their road trips. It's definitely worth a watch. Again, it's about an hour and 14 minutes, so take it leisurely. But yeah, definitely excited with Scale Trains. They also have this museum quality line, or museum quality. Yeah, it's museum quality. And basically, this is the top of their lines. This is when they're going to go super into the details. You get a nice case when it comes to these particular models, especially with their big blow turbines. It's really nice. Again, I do just HO. I haven't experienced them in N scale or S scale as well, so I can only give you a buyer's perspective from the 187 scale. But I'm a big fan of them. I am super excited for them to come out with their steam engines from the XMTH line. I'm curious to see what they're going to offer and see how they're going to expand their product line. But with that, guys, that is Scale Trains, and with that, I'll see you on the next video.